Rockeyez would like to welcome John Ricci of the legendary Exciter. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, Brian, just, hanging out and getting ready to, we're going to Brazil on Wednesday. We're playing Friday at Metal Open Air.
Cool.
It's a big festival down in Brazil. I believe it's a 3-day event. The first day, the headliner is Megadeth. Second day, Anthrax headliner. Third day is Venom headliner.
Wow, that's some show.
So we're pretty excited. We're getting, all ready for that.
Very cool, very cool. Now, the band started in 1978. One of the leaders in, whatever you want to call it, thrash, speed, whatever. You guys were legendary. I worked for a magazine called Metal Forces magazine out of the UK, and we covered you all the time, it seemed like, I
remember Metal Forces, very well.
Right. Okay, your first release was a demo, World War III. How has the music from Exciter changed from that early demo until now?
Since I do in the early days, I came up with most of the guitar riffs, and then Dan Beeler came up with the melody, like the vocals and so on.
Right.
Alan Johnson also contributed, but I came up with most of the riffs. And even with the new Exciter, the way we've been since 1996, I kind of stick to a formula. I'm not afraid to admit it. I took the same formula that we followed back then. I still follow today.
Wow.
Because in my opinion, I don't want to change it. Because the Exciter style made us what we are today. So I don't like to experiment too much.
Right.
I don't like to go outside the box too much. So now the only thing that's really changed is the vocals, because of course Dan Beeler had such an original screaming voice that it's hard to miss. But music-wise, it's pretty well the same direction. We're pretty one-dimensional. We've always been a one-dimensional band.
Cool. Now, Exciter came, excuse me. Exciter came out with a Dark Command, and that was a limited number edition of 1500. Was there a reason why it was numbered to 1500? Was that a promotional thing, or what went on there?
Well, you know what? I wasn't aware of that. Maybe, are you saying 1500 in the USA, like in North America?
Well, the last one I saw, I was doing some research this morning, and I saw a picture of it, and the guy, even on the back of the album, he had number 212, and it said /1500. It was all numbered.
Well, I'm not really sure that. We signed with Osmos Productions.
Yes.
And I had no idea what the pressing one, like the quantity of the pressings. I had no idea.
Wow. So
I'm going to guess that because it was like a new lineup under the same name.
Right.
That maybe they were, Osmos was being very cautious about how many copies they printed.
Right. Cool.
That's all that's all I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw it on eBay this morning. I was doing some research, seeing stuff what was selling, and it seems like Exciter is a very collectible band. One guy has a vintage T-shirt on there. It says "Violence and Force U.S. Attack '84," and that's going for $200.
Oh my God.
So and almost everything else got like bids on it. So congratulations, I guess, because it keeps the name going.
Well, I've heard of things like that on the internet, some of the records that we signed back then, got autographed copies of the vinyl from the early records, going for $150 and $75. Wow.
Right.
So
congratulations.
I'm flattered. I'm very humble. I get bands all the time when we tour around the world, and younger bands that actually have surpassed our profile come up to me backstage and tell me how much of an influence we were on their band. So I'm very flattered that the kind of impact we've made around the world.
Very cool. Now, you've played your first Ottawa show in 13 years on February 19th. What was that like?
You know what? I was so surprised because we've never been a good draw in our own hometown. And we had 200, we played a venue in the downtown area here, but it was 250 people. I mean, that's a good attendance for an Exciter show in Ottawa.
Right.
And, we had the mosh pit going on in the front, and, people thrashing around. I mean, and 250 people, singing along to every lyric of every song. I said, oh, my God, is this Ottawa, It's just the old stigma, like people, because people know us and we're just considered a bunch of locals.
Right.
We're not really taken seriously. They don't look at us as an international band and one of the pioneers of speed and thrash. They don't look at us that way. They just look at us as a bunch of the locals, local guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we had that attendance at that show, I was so happy to see that.
Wow, very cool. Like you said, you play in a local show, yet next week or whatever, you're flying to Brazil to play with some, legendary people. Well,
we're flying to Brazil on Wednesday. We just got back from Mexico. We played 2 festivals with Destruction and Soulfly.
Right.
And went really, really well. Back in January, we did a 70,000 tons of metal cruise, like the...
oh, yes.
The cruise throughout the Caribbean.
Right.
We had Overkill was there, and Venom was there, and Whiplash. And all the bands just hung out and partied and had a really good time. It was, coming up, other shows, there's the Sweden Rock Festival. We're playing there the first week of June. We got a gig confirmed in Osaka, Japan next year, like February of 2013. We're playing 2 smaller venues, like where we're headlining with some opening bands in Osaka, Japan. I'm just thrilled,
Very cool.
I mean, to me, because we're not the original band and people are still interested in our music,
right?
To me, that's an achievement right there.
Wow.
Because in some cases, fans are stuck on the original lineup, and for years and years and years, I've been trying to fight that. Like, we can still, pursue our career and put out good records and great songs, and not be the original lineup.
Right.
So that's been a big challenge for me, because since I'm the original guy in the band, but I think we're winning over new fans, all the time.
Very cool. Your newest album, Death Machine, just came out recently, last year. Tell me a little bit about the making of that, and how much different was it in the studio compared to back in the day?
Good question. Well, I mean, it was the same. Because I'm working with different people. I mean, back in the day, we were sort of growing together, like as far as being creative.
Right.
So the creativeness was sort of this accidental energy that we had between the 3 of us.
Right.
But now, today, I mean, I go in there, we go in there, we know exactly the way the music has to go down. There's no guesswork,
Right.
But in the early days, it was just kind of like this exciting energy that we had, because we went in there, but we really didn't know what the turnout, like what the results was going to be.
Right.
So, but as everything else is pretty well the same. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like the energy level and intensity of Exciter had in the old days still exists today in the new band, in the new Exciter.
Cool. Now, some of the songs I'm just going to pick out. Just tell me what your feelings are towards them, since you guys wrote them. One of my favorite is Razor in Your Back. Can you tell me anything special about that song?
Well, on the whole album, I just, like I said, with the new Excite, I do all the songwriting, music, lyrics, melodies, everything.
Right.
With the exception of one song, the Hellfire was Clammy, our bass player's idea. But on Death Machine, just generally, I try to a very, very simple approach.
Right.
But all the songs is just basically, it's about torture and sadistic torture, but it's not really supporting that topic. It's just because there's so much senseless killings going on in the world today,
Right.
with the unmotivated violence, and those topics, and this the album cover is, of course, the topless girl with the chainsaw. I mean, that's basically just sort of condoning the violence. It's just basically, aggressive themes to go with the aggressive music.
Right.
So Razor Your Back and, the Death Machine and all the other songs in the album, basically it just sort of matches the topics match the intensity of the music.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about, do you feel it's easier to really voice your opinion through song than actually telling somebody?
Yes. Exactly, because sometimes, if I have to express myself, I can do it better, like in an email. Like, instead of calling somebody up and telling them how you feel about something, if you have a disagreement with somebody.
Right.
Instead of me calling them, I mean, I know this is very typical with today's society, where people email each other. They don't call each other anymore. But when you're sitting down, you can control your thoughts.
Right.
Better, and you can put them down on paper, and then the person you're talking to gets the idea much clearer what you're trying to say.
Right.
So well, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I can present my ideas better through song than through any other channel.
Right. And what's your feeling about the world right now as we live in?
I was just telling the guys in the band, the rehearsal the other night, like, I read the paper every day, to keep up with current events. But like I said, it sort of falls in with the topic of Death Machine. All these senseless killings, and the guys I really hate are the child molesters. I mean, here in Canada, you probably didn't hear about this, but this little girl got kidnapped and murdered and chopped up and everything. I mean, it just breaks my heart. I can't even read the newspaper. You know what I mean? Because
right.
It's just sick world, and I don't trust anybody.
Right.
I'm very aloof of everybody. What they say, what they do, what they promise they're going to say. Like, I'm very skeptical. Like, I have a hard time trusting anybody or what they say, because you don't know who you're talking to.
Right.
So. I'm really old-fashioned that way. So for a metal guitar, metalhead musician, I'm very old-fashioned.
Right.
I like my metal, but the world today is really, really screwed up.
Right.
So
right.
always, and it's I have a low tolerance of stress. I can't, that's like I said. I was talking to the guys in the band the other day, and I said, look, I can't even get through the newspaper because of all these senseless killings and murders, and it's just crazy. Why do people do that,
Right.
It's like human beings are they're more violent than any animal, really.
Right. Definitely.
Animals attack because they're hungry or,
Right.
But human beings, they're just killing each other. The violence is crazy. I mean, and it's in every country, even in Canada, U.S., abroad, like overseas. I mean, it's everywhere,
Right. Yes, definitely.
So, I hope I answered your question.
So, when you get back from Brazil, what's the plans for Exciter?
Well, after that, we have been writing new material. So I told the guys I really want to concentrate on writing some songs because we have to put a new record out. I mean, Death Machine was released October 2010.
Right.
And we're already 2012.
Right.
So, like I said, we do have more shows. We're actually playing Montreal May 31st. Then the week after, we're in Sweden at the Sweden Rock Festival. But when we get back from Brazil, I want to concentrate and work on some new songs.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I congratulate you on your longevity.
Well, thank you.
Goddamn, that's long, So, I mean, congratulations on that. Congratulations on the latest CD. And good luck in Brazil and everything else you do. Would you like to say anything in the ending?
Well, I just want to, tell everyone that all our fans out there, and then hardcore Exciter fans that, we're here to stay, and we're going to be around for a long, long time. Just, keep, we're going to put out, great metal records after, one after another,
Very cool.
So, I mean, it's just Exciter for me. It's a passion, like I got to have it. It's like a fix for me. So.
Very cool.
That's a destiny for Exciter.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, John. I appreciate it.
Brian, yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for having me on your show.
Bye-bye.